Welcome back. Lesson 6, Work Breakdown Structure, WBS. If you're coming from P3, that's mean Primavera Project Planner or Primavera SureTrack Project Manager, this may be a new concept. And now we have a different way of looking at project organization. So let me walk you through a couple of examples and I'll show you what you have to do in P6. So the goal is, when we're done with this chapter, you should be able to describe the work breakdown structure in P6. Then you should be able to view the information about the WBS and how to assign a WBS code to an activity. Okay? If you haven't downloaded this material, go ahead and download and come and follow me. And now let's go over to the second page. I have an example. I have 3 examples. Here's an example 1 of a WBS. Here it is. It's a yard work. Say for example you have a niece or nephew, they are teenagers, have them come and help you on a weekend to do the work, yard work, and you could tell them, hey, we had to do the cleanup, we had to cut the grass, we had to trim work, we got to prepare the equipment, we got to trim edge. Most of the kids will understand what it is, so they are okay with that. And your niece or nephew might be asking, what do you mean by clean up with uncle or aunt? Then you will start explaining, the cleanup mean pick up trash, bag grass, or hedge clippings. Then somebody, the niece or nephew said, what do you mean by cut grass, uncle or aunt? You're going to tell them mow the front and mow the back. So you start explaining what they have to do. So if you have that concept, let's go back to the yard work. This is our project, is a yard work. So that's going to be the root level or level 1. Then underneath that we have a summary task. If you were to look at it, if you're coming from Microsoft Project, we have summary task over there. So these are the summary tasks. If you tell somebody a summary task, they know what the to-do list are. Here are the to-do list I have for you right here. Okay, so that will be the to-do list on that item. So it's an example of a WBS. So let's go to the page 3 and see this example, and I put this sideways because it's a big one, so I'm going to see if I can rotate that so we can look at it together. Okay, here it is. I was able to rotate it. And say you are building a single family home. Let me expand this a little bit so it'll be bigger on my screen. Let me go to 125%. And even I could do 150. Let's see that one. Okay, so we could see that. So here is a single family home and you are the contractor ready to build a house. So looking at it, and how can you break this project down? The name of the projects could be the level 1 or root 1. Then you can break down by the subcontractor or by the group of categories. So I have as a general condition site work, foundation, framing, dry-in, that's the roof and exterior stuff, exterior finish, utility rough-in. Then you see interior finishes. I have further broken down. So let's look at this one. So my single family is the name of the project. I'm going to call it a root level or level 1. And these people underneath I'm going to call it root level 2. And underneath that I'm going to go down to level 3. So if you look at this one in respect to as a subcontractor assigned to that piece of work or that group of work, then that could be a work breakdown structure. If you're part of the Project Management Institute, they call that is the lowest level of the WBS is a work package. So we won't go there. So for you need to understand you can break down the work, somehow grouping them together to manage it better. And if you go back to P3 and SureTrack Project Manager, most of you use the activity code to do that. Now with the Primavera P6, Oracle Primavera 6, it gives an opportunity for us to manage it by the WBS. If you are into the earned value management, this will come very helpful. So let's go to the next page, and I have another example of a project. Let me rotate this back again. Already I have rotated it back. So let's go to the page 4, And if you come from a software development company, you might have a different way of looking at these things. So here is my top level or level 1 or root level. Here are my level 2 WBS. Then underneath that we have a level 3 WBS. So depends on your company concept. It may be you might take it down to 6 or 7 level. Normally I try to keep my within 3 to 4 levels to manage my project. So this is what the WBS. If you want to learn more about the WBS, go to the Google on the internet search, do a WBS. You will have lots of examples will pop up. Okay, now let's go to page 5 and see what P6 has to offer. How about we go and open up this BLDG projects and I'll walk you through and you have a better appreciation. So I do have my P6 open up. And I have to open up a project, so in order to see the WBS. So how about we will go ahead and open up the building projects. If you don't have that, you open any other project that you are familiar with. So here it is, I right click on it, I have opened the project and it takes me to the activities window. So you got to go into the activities window so you are right there. So now let's see what are the options we have up here. We could go into, and we looked at it, let's go into the WBS window, and if you come to the left hand side you see the WBS work breakdown structure 2 blue thing up there on the directory button bar. You could click there. Oh, since we are into the project environment, I could go through my project. I could click on the WBS and this screen comes on. Let's move this divider over to the right a little bit so we can see something better. And don't worry about these, and we will go into advanced class and level 3. I'll talk more about those just to give the fundamental of this and what do we have up there. So we have into the WBS and we're going to see the first one is a top level is we are going to look at it. So let's go over to page 5 and finish it up, page 5, and let's go to page 6. And I have lots of things up there for you. After my demo, I want you to come back and read this, have a better appreciation. And I have a parent-child relationship. That means summary. Underneath that I have a sub-summary. And this, all of them can be rolled up. I'll explain to you and what the P6 will do. So moving on to page 6, and we need to expand these WBS elements. So how do we do that? I'm just jumped too much on that. And let's see, how do we expand and collapse these WBS? Going back into P6, and if you look over here under the view menu, and we have a collapse all, collapse to. Okay, we'll talk about these two in a second. Also, you could do the same thing from the layout option bar. You click over here. Here it said collapse all or collapse to is available. Let's go ahead and collapse all, see what happened. Now see that name of the project is my BLDG. How about if I go up to the same place and I want to go to collapse to, let's see what that offers. And it's asking you what level do you want. You remember we talked about level 1 or the root level, level 2, level 3. Let's say give me up to level 2 and let's select that and click OK. So I have these are my level 2 over here and they don't have any more pluses. See, I have a plus over here on this one, so I have something underneath that. So I'm going to click on the plus over to expand. See that? Now if I want to collapse all of it, I could come to the layout option bar and I could expand or collapse all. So it gives an option for you. If I want to expand all, it expands every element. Let's get rid of this bottom window. If you recall from our previous chapter, we can hide this bottom one. So here is a little icon over here, show hide bottom layout. If you don't want to go there, you could go view, and we can go and set show on bottom and no bottom layout. So let's see this one, leave it there so you get to see everything. So now let's go back again and we're going to go back to collapse 2. Let's leave it at the level 2 for a second or a few minutes. Okay, so there it is. So this is what we're looking at it, and this is my building, is my project. It gives me total number of activities, and then I have the one WBS called design and engineering. The next one is a foundation structure. Under the mechanical, if I go back and look at it, they are grouping it by the elevator, HVAC, plumbing. So you need to come up with the scheme or plan works for you. Going back to page 6, and this one shows you how to collapse. Let me go ahead and zoom back into my 100%, and so that will be okay. So now moving down, now let me do the fit to page so it's much better, and I'm going to scroll down to the next page, viewing WBS. We already opened that. It's again a repeat, so in case if you haven't done it, and you can click on the directory bar and it brings you right there. And or you can click on the WBS element over there also. Now we are viewing the WBS. This is the window appears over here. So we are looking at it. We have removed the bottom window. And let's see some of the comments on bottom part over here. Again, it depends how you want to name it. Some people call us a root or first level WBS, and it takes the default of the project name. As you create the project, you'll do it. We're going to create a project on the next lesson. I'll show you that. And we're going to see these code numbers and names. And or not only that, you can assign a responsible manager. You remember we talked about OBS, so you can hold somebody responsible for that. And you can create unlimited WBS based on what you need. And typically I'm at 3 or 4, and I have seen up to 11 level WBS. So make sure it is manageable. Moving on to the next page over here, creating WBS.